Alright, this is going to be a how-to on how to make a spinner card. And when you spin your spinner card, you want to hold it straight up and down. And you just have to tilt it slightly to the side, and it spins right away. Okay, so let's make a card. Alright, let's get started on our slider card, or spinner card, whichever you want to call it. Alright, this is what we're going to need. You're going to need a punch, and it varies on whatever punch size it is, depending on how big you want your little slider wheel to be. It doesn't actually even have to be a circle. If you want to make it a square, a triangle, or even a cutout shape, that works fine. Okay. You're going to need double-sided tape, ink, a craft knife, you'll need glue, you'll need pop dots. You'll need one thin pop dot, 1/4 inch round, and you'll need some thick pop dots, doesn't matter what size. If you don't have access to some of the thick pop dots, you can double up on your thin ones. Alright, you'll need 2 pennies, a ruler to cut out your card. You will need a mat. You absolutely have to have a mat. Your bottom mat needs to be 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And then your top piece, whether or not you use the template that is on my blog, or not, your top panel needs to be 5 by 3 3/4. So that's what this is. Then of course you'll need something to decorate the top card with. You can use stickers. I use computer graphics, it's just easier. You can use stamps, you can stamp it. You will need a spinner. Your spinner size needs to be somewhere between 1 and 2 inches. 2 is a little on the big side, but it does work. Then if you want to have words underneath your spinner, then you will need to print that out too. And it's a very narrow space, just 1/4 inch. So if you're going to stamp it, you need to have very small letter words. If you want to write something in there, you can do that. And then you'll need a card, just a regular store-bought card, 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. Alright, we're going to start. Like I said, this is the template that you can get on my blog. It's ready to print out, exact size. You just need to fill it in with whatever you need, and the instructions are actually there on the site too. Alright, so I've already cut my card out, and the only thing that's left to do is to cut out the slider. Now I've seen lots of instructions on different places on easy ways to do this, but I've never really found one that worked well. I used the punch system for a while, where they put a 1/2 inch punch on both sides, but I found that the pennies got stuck in that. And I actually find the easiest way to do it is to go ahead and print it out and just to cut it freehand. And what you do is, when you get to the corner, is you just pivot. And that way you don't go outside the lines any. And it's really pretty easy to get a straight line there if you have a line to follow. Then I'm going to pivot. Sorry, I'm cut off the screen there. And then again, I'm just going to go right straight down, all the way in. And I actually shouldn't have started in a corner, because that way you don't have a place to stop. And then you just take it out. If you don't have a steady hand, you can still use a ruler. You've got to be careful when you get to those corners, though. It's easy to go down too far. Now, if you've still got icky edges there, just take a little ink or a pen like underneath there, and just go across it and highlight it. Alright, so now we've got our template, we've got our top half cut out. Now before I go any further, I'm going to go ahead and cut out my circle, which I've lost. There we go. And I made this one 1 1/2 inches. So I'm going to take my 1 1/2 inch punch, and I'm going to punch out my circle. There we go. And I'm going to highlight my edges with the ink pad. Like so. And I'm going to go ahead and glue my penny to that and put it to the side so it'll be dry when I'm ready. Just, whoa, a little too much. Put a little glue in the middle there. Take some of that off. And just put your penny. You don't have to measure it if it's not exactly in the middle. It's not really going to affect it. It actually seems to slide a little bit better if it's not centered. Okay, I'm going to set that off to the side. And now I'm going to finish on with my card. Now you need to take your back side, and remember that was already cut that panel, it's 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And if you want words underneath your slider here, like that, then you need to go ahead and get those. And when you cut that out, I made this exactly the same size as the thing in there. When you cut this out, you need to make sure you leave a little bit, because you don't want to get it interfering with the slide. So leave at least 1/4 inch all the way around it. Those are left-handed scissors. They didn't work very well because I'm not left-handed. Let's trim that down. But you don't want any ragged edges because they would easily get stuck on the slider. And you're going to put that down, and you're going to tape it in place. Now I want it to be centered right. So I'm going to go right there. So I'm going to lift that up and push that down. And then I'm going to put that up and push that down. And there you're going to have your words that will show up underneath your card. Alright, now we're going to put our pennies and put the slidey thing together. So I've got my circle here with my penny glued to it, and I've got my extra penny. And what you need to do now is take one of your thin pop dots. These pop dots are exactly 1/4 inch high pop dot, and put it in the center of your penny. Then turn your slider upside down, stick it on top of that, doesn't matter where it is, and take your other penny and center that and pop it right on there. And so you got your slider, and it'll work better when you got your end on it. Alright, now I'm going to attach my top panel to my bottom panel, and to do that I need the thick pop dots. So I'm going to put one in each top corner, and you've got to be careful that you don't put your pop dots anywhere that's going to interfere with your penny. So you wouldn't want anything low, you don't want anything right along here, you want them up here high. So I'm going to put one up here, and I'm going to put a couple down here, and again, you don't want to get them too close. See, you might want to move your penny over there and make sure where you put that you're not getting it too close. And then you need just a few here and there on the rest of your card. And I would probably put quite a few more than this on here. I would put a bunch in the middle here, but just to save time we're going to go with that. And then you take that and you center it right there, press it down,